Hello everyone, we are Patrick, David,
And Grace.
Before we start, let's look at the brief video.
I gotta do it! Annually!
Turn off the lights so we can see that, please.
Wow, look at them all! And you do some nice work.
That's right, man. There's your food. There's your protein blocks.
Is this why they took you? To make this garbage?
Huh?
Paul. You been alone this whole time?
Alone. In the zone.
We're going to the front. Come with us.
All right. You're going to the front?
Yeah.
Man, but no way. That place is here, right?
Here. Making this crap. Why?
Okay. How did you think of this video? Disgusting or delicious? Why did they have to eat cockroach? Because they don't have enough food to eat. Is this happening in the distant future? Today we are going to talk about future alternative food, so the upcoming food shortage. This is our table of contents. We will proceed intro, body, and conclusion. Next. On appetite, one of the basic human's desire. Because of this appetite, human and food are inseparable. But what would happen if the food were not enough in the future? According to the United Nations FAO, the world population is estimated at 9.8 billion people by 2050. About 2.3 billion people increased from the current 7.5 billion. Against fast population growth rate, our staple crops such as rice and wheat are unlikely to keep up with demand due to climate impact and limited land. And in the same case with meat, it would be difficult to see the rise in meat production, as it was the cause of animal rights violation and global warming issue. Not only future problem, but also current situation is serious too. In Africa, most of these countries are still suffering from food shortage, and also the food shortage is spreading to violence. In Venezuela, food shortage caused as many as 50 riots within 2 weeks. As such, the food shortage is increasingly becoming a major issue in our society. So, how can we cope with the food shortage? We believe that the answer is for future alternative food. Now, let's look at what it is. There are three major future alternative food. First, genetically modified food, and insect food, and artificial meat. Let's look at genetically modified food first. Genetically modified food is also called GMO food. Refers to a food that has a different gene than the existing one by using genetic engineering techniques. There are lots of kinds of food made of GMO. Typical GMO foods include bean, corn, milk, and sugar. More specifically, it can be used cooking oil, canola oil, snack, bread, and sauce. We can easily see these products in real life. Next, let's look at the advantages. There are many strengths of GMO food. First, GMO food can increase the expiration date of crops. Second, it can make possible to mass production. And finally, is eliminate the weakness of genes and extracted only the advantage by genetic recombination technology. So it can only produce superior genes. But there are also disadvantages which are side effects. First, it can disturb ecosystem. Second, as a result, it can produce unexpected mutation. GMO crops are still a large part of your life, and it is expected to grow in the future. Genetic manipulation is a bright future industry in bio. The core task of GMO food is safety. To solve task, the researchers will do more study, and it will have a lot of effect on the growth of the bio industry. Grace, what else do we have?
Hi, this is Grace, and I am going to explain insect food and artificial meat. In common insect food, you can think of locusts and scorpions eaten in China, but there are many more kinds of than that. For example, insect burger, insect cookies, and insect pasta. There are 5 benefits of insect food. First, it can produce many proteins with less food than livestock. Second, eatable insects produce much less greenhouse gas than beef or pork. Third, it is much more eco-friendly source of protein than traditional cattle, because it converts food intake into meat faster than mammals. Fourth, insect foods have high nutrition value. And finally, water can be saved. 1 kilogram of animal protein takes 20 times more water than 1 kilogram of insect protein. And the only disadvantage of insect food is not good to see. But if we solve this problem, commercialization will accelerate in the future. In Korea, there are many domestic companies of eatable bug, and is expected to further develop with support of government ministries and the support of conglomerates like Nongsim or CJ. And in the case of US company Exoprotein, it has started crowdfunding at $50,000, but now it has huge grown with total sales exceeding 1.2 million. As you can see in these examples, the insect food industry is expected to become more popular as a blue ocean and a promising future industry. And last future alternative food is artificial meat. Artificial meat is not grown from a farm, but from a factory. The stem cells extracted from animals' muscle and fat cells to form a meat. The taste and smells are no different from regular meat. Artificial meat can protect animals from environmental pollution caused by growing a huge number of livestock, and it does not contribute to global warming. And no animals need to be slaughtered, and it does not need to be raised in a poor conditions. But it costs a lot of money. However, as many companies are developing artificial meat technology and investors are getting more interested, it is not too long until coming to our table. As we saw these examples of future alternative food, there are several problems. But as many research has been going on so far, we expect these foods are best alternative food of food shortage. Now, David will introduce the companies producing future alternative foods.
Hello, this is David. I'm going to introduce 3 companies in future alternative food industry. Chopper is an insect food company created by 5 partners in Utah, and it produces energy bars and cricket protein powder. Founded in 2015, it is currently the top and second largest US energy bar market. This means that food made from insect is not competitive at all, but latter has high potential. Chopper introduced eatable insect into Western cuisine as a healthy and sustainable protein. We launched the first insect protein product in the US with our award-winning Chopper cricket bars, fortified with our signature cricket floor. We represent a growing food revolution intent on increasing the health of our food resource for our children and for the planet. The other company is Six Food. Six Foods, made by three co-founders, produce the most crispy cricket snack, which is the main ingredient of cricket, rice, and beans. It has a variety of flavors, and each protein is 3 times higher than other foods. The company, which mainly uses online marketing, makes blog and provides various information about insect food. This example of foreign companies show that the insects are processed and made into friendly forms such as energy bar or like chips, removing this cost and approaching the consumers without resistance. And these insect markets are actually growing more than twice each year in the US and are expected to make further progress in the future. Impossible Food is food tech company that make meat with plant. This company started to address pollution caused by livestock industry. This meat is the 100% vegetable made fatty, and it tastes like beef. The real value of this meat is a drastic reduction in the level of environmental pollution, which reduces energy consumption by 45% and greenhouse gas emission by 96%. So many businessmen like Bill Gates are investing, so we expect progress. As a result, this alternative food contributes to the solution of the food shortage and also affects the economy. First, there is a cost saving. On average, it costs about 1.2 million won to raise a cow and 200,000 won for insect food, which save about 83%. In addition, insects have a very short breeding period compared to cows and pigs. These packs can eventually be consumed more easily by lowering price of goods and improving productivity. As the industrialization of such alternative food progress, the above effects are more prominent. A survey about the size of alternative food shows that the economic impact of this food is increasing year after year. And employment and corporate sales are increasing, but the rate of increase is not so great. So it's time for us to increase our interest in alternative food for the positive effects of economic ripple effect and to solve food shortage. We all have to think about the problem together. So, do you have any questions?
Is there any questions?
Yeah. At the beginning, you talked about the food shortage in Venezuela that led to riots. What was the cause of that food shortage? What was the cause of that food shortage? Was it because what I've heard about Venezuela, it's more economic, that their economy is like collapsing, where they have like hyperinflation. So was there actually a shortage of food, or was it that food was so expensive that people couldn't afford it? What was the actual problem?
Poverty. So high inflation cause violation. Generation.
As population also goes up and the inflation also goes up, so people like hard to buy food. That leads to food shortage.
Was there not enough food, or was it just that the prices were so inflated?
The price of the food.
Okay, so there was food, but people couldn't afford it?
Yeah, and it's they don't have like many foods, just little foods,
Mm-hmm.
and the price is high.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's both.
Okay. Because I know there's a lot of problems with the government in Venezuela.
Oh yeah.
A lot of like corruption or mismanagement, or I'm not sure exactly, but I know a lot of it is like an economic crisis, not so much maybe a shortage of actual food, but maybe access to it or something. I'm not sure, but I know there's a lot of like government problems there. Okay.
My question is about insect food. And insect food. Yeah. If insect food is more popular, and it will, many people will feed insects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the insects eat crops. And will it affect our crops? And the insects eat crops.
Oh.
And what kind of effect it brings to our crops?
Even though people are eat like many insects, but it's not effect as much as people eat like meat or crops.
Livestock more than livestock needs more crops more than insects.
If the numbers of the insects cannot be controlled, if the insects can be controlled in the numbers of insects is so many,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
if many insects go out to eat crops, it will be a very big problems, and we will have no crops to eat.
What's the question again?
In some or some farmer develop some rice or some in the because and he means the insects will eat the growth, so the growth will be
The insect will crops and
Now, what's the effect that in insects will be the effect of the insect will to the outputs?
Edible insect is
it separates with the eatable insects and just insects.
we mean
Insects.
Does that answer your question?
Are you trying to say that the insects raised for food,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be in like a laboratory or inside their own factory, basically,
Yeah.
not so they will not eat farmers' crops because they're kept separately,
yes.
like in an insect farm.
It's from a factory, not from a farm. So it's separate.
So they're not just millions of insects, millions of extra insects eating the farmers' crops. They'll be confined to an insect farm, and then they're processed into food from there. think is what the question was. I have another one. At the end, you were talking about the cost comparison between how much it costs to raise like a cow and crickets. And you compare, like, I think it was like 1.2 million and 200,000. And then you talked about like the benefit of those. Like obviously a cow produces a lot of meat. So I'm wondering, how many crickets are you talking about? I mean, obviously one cricket does not provide as much protein as a cow. So I'm not real clear on your comparison, what it's based on.
The standard of the same amounts when we eat
Same
same amount of food.
Okay, so that's based on the same amount of protein produced?
Yeah.
It costs like 1.2 million for a cow or 200,000 for, how many crickets is that? How many crickets equal one cow for protein?
We're not sure, but maybe they measured with by the weight.
Right.
I'm not sure, but it's the same weight.
500,000 crickets equals one cow or something? I mean, obviously it would take a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any question?
First, thank you for your presentation. And my question is, do you expect the alternative food will be popular for everyone, regardless of the wealth, or only popular for poor or broke?
I think
How's your opinion?
it will be popular in the future for everyone, because many research has been going on so far, and they're trying to make new food every time. So maybe it will like commercialize it with like everyone, not for poor, for everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Did you guys eat any insects during your research?
Well, we were trying to buy like some cookies.
Some cookies
We didn't- I wanted
with
to
some
buy
like
it.
insects in them?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're not ready.
I was gonna say, I bought a bag of crickets in Thailand if you'd like to try them. I can bring some. I haven't tried them either. They're
You don't.
Christmas gifts.
Is
What-
there any other questions?
Would bandegi be included in this? Bandegi.
Bondegi?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, that's basically an insect.
They could
It-
happen.
It's a cocoon.
Hmm?
Cocoon. Cocoon.
Yeah, cocoon. Yeah, larvae. I mean, that's one example where it just looks like the insect. It's not hidden inside a protein bar or something. It's just the insect, which a lot of people have negative reactions to.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yes. Okay. Other questions? Okay. All right. Fill out your score sheets. Give me a hand.